long time, but it was new to me, was he talked about a 4-step formula. And one of the things was handle. And it's like, instead of, like for us, instead of skipping over, like, have you ever worked with a recruiter and then going into your sales pitch, he's like, salespeople need to stop there and find out what the person's experience was with recruiting. Like if they had a bad experience, he said, you want them to discharge. In other words, tell you all about it, and basically telling us as a salesperson to shut up, and you're trying to get the person to get it all out there. He said too often what a salesperson does is the guy will say like, yeah, well, this recruiter yanked me around and he sent my resume, and then they jump in and go, we would never do that. And he's like, now you stop that guy from telling you all. Just listen and let it get all out there, and then you'll go forward. He goes, because what happens if you don't do that, it'll sit there and filter through the whole process. He'll always be waiting for you to see if you're going to do the same thing that the other person wronged him about. So that was a good tip. And the second thing is we're trying a brand new marketing program. It's called Clickback. And it's a marketing program where we're taking a lot of leads that we gather, cold leads, you know, things that haven't been tried before. And you load it into this program, and it's all set up to where you can take cold names like that and develop them into warm leads. They've got things like built into where it sends off of other IP addresses so you don't ruin your reputation and stuff, and all these spam filters and stuff built in. So we just tried that. Aaron just did our first launch today, but it seems promising of a way to, you know, contact a bunch of people. And then the idea is as you warm them up, you move them over to a different, you know, like Constant Contact or something like that. So that's another tip. You can check. I just found it on Facebook. We checked it out, did the demos. I think it's, I don't know, for us, the thousands we sent, it's about $600 a month or something like that. It's cheaper than what we were using, which was SendGrid, and it seems to do more and fit more into the model of when you're sending totally cold stuff, because, you know, and they've got all the CAM span compliance and all that. So clickback.com was a good thing that we're checking out.
It's called
Clickback. Yeah.
Okay.
Just one word. Just showed up on Facebook one day, so I hit it and started checking it out, and then Aaron kind of checked it out with me, and we just launched our first email with it. So, and it gives you stats when it comes back too, of like who clicked, who opened, what happened on it.
That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. I
Sure.
just wrote that down. Always like hearing about some new tools.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, Al. Thank you.
Yeah. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not getting younger. But so I went ahead and got Loxo, guys, after that demo, and I'm enjoying it. I got all my Bullhorn data converted over, so I'm just kind of organizing my database so it could be more efficient. But I'm really liking it. I like the campaigns that I can run on there. I don't know if anyone here got it, but if you did, share your thoughts. I think it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying the text messaging feature on there, and all the automation. It's making my life a whole lot easier.
Russ, we did a demo and I got my team all excited about it, and we're moving towards that direction. So I'm excited to hear that you are pleased with it, and we're moving from Bullhorn as well. So how was the migration process? Pretty easy?
Yeah, I got to tell you, their customer service at Loxo was incredible. I work with a girl named Keely. I don't know if you guys.
We haven't gotten to that point yet, but
yeah,
dealing with Rick.
It's painless. They're on it. I mean, to the point where they're hammering me more than I'm getting back to them. So it's yeah, it's been a great experience so far.
I've been with Loxo for 2 years. I can back what Russ is saying. Their customer support is awesome.
Yeah.
Even if it's something difficult that they got to bring to engineers, they keep you updated. They'll actually tell you, you know, this is something I got to bring to the engineering group. And you generally know that if they tell you that, you're not going to get the actual result maybe for a day or two. But if they can fix it or answer it or do something for you right away, they're fantastic. If they have to take it to engineering, they're not just going to send it in engineering and not reply back to you or say, or wait for you to say, I haven't heard back, or did you hear anything? They're actually very fast, very responsive. I think their entire system is built, or their philosophy is built, because I know the CEO, it's built from a customer experience point of view. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things is that they have two quality control people. Sarah is one of them. So she makes sure that Keely and Nicole and Daniel and the rest of them, they actually are making sure that they are supporting you as subscribers, right? So, again, I'm just going to back what Russ says, that their customer service, their migration, everything, even if you run into a problem that you can't figure out, they'll walk you through exactly how to, whatever it is, they'll customize. I did a lot of customizations, and some of the customizations I couldn't do. Okay. They had to do, man, they are totally, they'll do whatever, pretty much whatever you need, they'll do.
Yeah, what I'll say about it, and guys, I'm not making any money off endorsing them, by the way. I used Bullhorn for years. And I like Bullhorn. It was fine. I wasn't really happy when COVID came along. I thought Bullhorn's customer service went the opposite direction, kind of like LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn is awful now with customer service. You can't get anybody on the phone for days. And they used to be on it. You would call and have a rep. And so I was kind of discouraged by that. What's cool about Loxo too, on any page that you're on, there's a little chat box in the bottom. You can write a quick message and they get back to you right away in real time. So I don't know. I've been pleased with it. I hope you guys are too. It gives you all the functionality that you need. And most of us here are like entrepreneurs and running our own business. So it's worked out fine.
Russ, are you paying monthly for that?
I am.
What rate did you get?
I gotta look. I want to say 170 or 180 a month. I think I'm paying.
Yeah, they quoted us, I think 178 with the discount.
Yeah, we get 10% off as a group. That's what I negotiated, some buying power with them. Should have got more, but it is what it is.
I am curious if anyone is using it that does have a team, like recruiters, and what their recruiters really think about it and the collaboration abilities and being able to see, because we're very much a team-oriented recruiting group. There's not like a lot of ownership over this or that. We work together. So I know that we went into it saying maybe we could drop LinkedIn Recruiter. We have some time to evaluate whether that's going to be realistic. My recruiters are, and even myself, and we're very attached to Recruiter. It's been a good tool, but it's obviously very expensive. And we're grandfathered into the messaging, so we have a lot of messages. But I'm curious if anyone has had any concerns from their recruiters about Loxo, or on the other side, if anyone's been successfully able to move away from Recruiter to, I guess, maybe just Sales Navigator alone.
So let me, because I've been with it a couple of years. I've gone through this. So out of my team, I have only one guy that pays for LinkedIn Recruiter.
Okay.
The company doesn't pay for it all. That comes completely out of his own pocket.
Okay.
And that's because his rationing was, well, I have a lot of saved data in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he was afraid of losing that data. And we said, look, everybody knows, even LinkedIn admits that their in-mail response rate is barely, not even 3%, which nowadays, if that's the open and response rate you're getting, you're basically admitting you stink. And Recruiter's expensive. And on top of that, with all the AI type sourcing that between Loxo and all the different AI tools out there, LinkedIn is not the only game in town, right? You can find potential clients and potential candidates with all the tools out there, right? So the only thing I use from LinkedIn that my recruiters use, other than the one guy who pays for it by his own. So as a company, we do provide Sales Navigator, the team, so we can collaborate, the team version.
Mm-hmm.
We find that's good. The only thing about getting your recruiters use Loxo is some recruiters, I found through my career, only half use whatever ATS it is. They're so used to using Outlook, and they're so used to, well, I have my notes on my desk kind of thing, right? So I found I had to set up training sessions and actually get them to fully realize that Loxo saves them time and money and to stop using Outlook, because everything you email or that you do within Loxo, if it's communication, it's tied into your Outlook. So you'll see it anyway.
Hey,
Right.
real quick, guys, I don't want to
Go ahead. Sorry.
no, it's okay. No, thank you, Charles. I just don't want to talk about Loxo for too much longer, but Jessica, what I'll tell you is they've got a YouTube series of videos Loxo has created that covers.
Fantastic.
It's awesome. It covers every training you would need. So if you have recruiters or a director of recruiting that you want to be really efficient with Loxo, there's no excuse. It's all right there online for them to plug into. Their reporting feature is very robust. So if you pull reports every day and, you can manage to the numbers effectively and efficiently. So that's what I've seen so far, but yeah, it's been good. So
Okay.
I want to move on and get to some other people here, guys. Let's see, Bonnie, how are you doing?
Hey, how are you? Happy New Year.
Well, thank you.
I'm doing well. I'm in the medical device sector, permanent, full-time roles only, no contracting. And what I'm seeing is a lot, people are very open to talking with me. The challenges are always getting the new clients when we have recruiters we're using, blah, all that stuff, but they're very open to the conversations. No trouble finding candidates. I'm of the same mindset as Ben. I'm a relationship builder. So my typical calls are not 10 minutes long. They are longer than that. And I do a lot of listening, but it is definitely, it's opening up for what I'm seeing.
Good. And has your January been good? Any placements yet, or?
I actually have a placement that should have happened a week ago, but my client is a small client. They're dragging their heels to make the right decision, but I expect it to close before the end of this month.
Good.
I have a search that I did close in January. It was a split deal, but I closed it in January. And then I have 2 other searches that are moving into second round, and these are VP level, so they take a bit longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely seeing activity.
Awesome.
Just personal changes that I have made going into this year is I decided to go back to old school, and I am dialing and talking to people, and I'm not satisfied with email responses, period. I want them on the phone. I find that's working. That's working for me. It's not for everybody, but it is for me.
Yeah, Bonnie, look, you're easy to talk to. You're a relationship builder. That's your strength. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Your personality does not come out on an email as much as it does on a phone call. So that's great.
I have a quick question for Charles since he's actually on the call. Can I ask a quick question?
Of course.
Charles, I utilized your technique and I did it via Ulink, I think, where I said, I'm not trying to recruit you. It was a similar messaging to one that you provided to us. And I am going to call you. You put in there specific times you're going to call people to talk with them. And my question is this: if you're sending this email to 50 people, for example, how are you figuring out how to call these people on certain times? How is that working?
Oh, Charles, you there? He may have stepped away, Bonnie.
Okay, it was just one of those things because he puts it on the messaging. I will call you like Wednesday at 10, and I'm thinking to myself, if I'm sending that to 50 people, I'm not maybe being able to call. Let's say I get 30 responses. Still
Right.
can't.
So let me tell you how I'm doing that.
Okay.
So what I did was I ran into the same problem.
Okay.
So what I did was I just changed it to, I'm going to give you a call in the next few days.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it doesn't matter where I'm getting 20 or 50. I can make all those calls, right? It's because you already know, it doesn't matter how many calls you're going to make. We all know that if it's not a scheduled call and it's just an outgoing call, there's a percentage that are going to go straight to voicemail.
Right.
Or in my case, I ran a couple of guys who were getting ready to jump on an airplane or just depart an airplane, which is a bad time to talk, right?
Yeah.
So that's all I did was I changed it from actual saying I'm going to call you on a Wednesday or Thursday, which is a couple days away. I just changed it. I'll call you in the next few days. And they understand that means business, right? I'm not going to call somebody Saturday or Sunday. They already know that. I don't have to explain that, but yeah, it's worked for me.
I did something similar when I realized I wouldn't be able to hit those people like that. And it is working, but I thought if you had a system, I wanted to know what it was.
Charles is the marketing guru of staffing. Love it.
So I ran into luck today and I wanted to share this with the group. So last week, so I do what's called MPC and MPC marketing, most placeable candidates. These are generally people that I found on, during a search. They went on my short list, but they weren't the one hired. But, they were like the number 2. So I market them. But occasionally I run into a very high level senior executive who knows who I am, respects me, and, says, look, I'm not actively looking, but, here's a couple of companies that I would be interested in, speaking with, because I kind of like the direction they're going. They just don't want their company. They don't want that company to call them directly because they're not they have a very senior role. They can't afford to be non-confidential. So I got this guy to sign an agreement that I would be his exclusive representation. And he agreed. Okay. For the next 6 months, I'm his exclusive, and we can stretch that beyond that. But I'm his exclusive representation. So whether it's a company or executive, doesn't matter who it is that ever calls him in relation to any job, it has to go through me. So here's what happened. I submitted him to 3 companies that he said he was interested in. And one of the companies was immediately interested. Okay, and he said, "Can you set up an interview?" I go, "Yes, but we first have to discuss what my fee is going to be." Okay, so this guy will go in somewhere around 6 to 7 million. So I told him, I go, "I'm going to make this easy. I'm going to give you a flat rate, $1 million. It's a $1 million fee." And at first they said, "Well, that's outrageous." I said, "No, it isn't. I'm giving you a discount. If I was charging you what I would normally charge clients, between 30 to 35%, we'd be talking a hell of a lot more money than that." Right? So
did you get the fee? Did you get the contract in place, Charles?
Yeah, so I got the agreement signed. If they hire this guy, I get $1 million. Now, please understand. I do one of these. I do one of these that are between 750 to 1.2 million, about one every 3 years. I hit one of those. They're not hard to do. I learned it from an Australian guy. You guys probably know, he's a trainer, Mark, I forget his last name. He talked about this during one of his training things, and I thought to myself, well, what he just described is easy as hell to do. These are not ones you get every day, right? These are the occasional, you and I both know are considered, let's say the industry has 100,000 people working in it, that this guy would be considered easily in the top 25 people, right? So he or she are not actively looking. They agree that you're their sole representation. You don't market them without their approval. You let them tell you what type of product, service, and which companies they're interested in. You don't do that on your own. You ask them. But because they know you're going to treat it very confidentially, and by the way, it's so confidential that their first interview is actually, they're going to meet outside an airport at a coffee shop. That's because my candidate does not want anybody internally at this company to see him walking through the door. Okay. And he doesn't want that getting back to his company, right? It's because he's such a high level, he has to negotiate when he leaves the company to go to another company. He's got to partly negotiate how he's going to leave, right? But the company agreed to pay me $1 million if they hire him.
There's so many good things that came from that. I love candidate marketing. Like the days of picking up the phone and cold calling or warm calling a client and being like, "Hey, my name is Russell Liebowitz with ConnectGen.
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore.
Is technicians, PMs, CMs. Can I be a resource for you?" Like they've heard that shit before, right?
Yeah,
so,
1 million times a day.
Part of my language.
Yeah.
But if you have a really good candidate or, that you can pro market, that's the way to do it, guys. Get in Loxo or, you can't attach in Ulink, but you can talk about candidates in Ulink. And, put some bait out there, put an actual tangible out there to these clients. With that example that Charles just gave, which was great. Thanks for sharing, Charles. was you got 3 leads from him. He gave you 3 companies that he's interested in. So boom, 3 companies that maybe you did or did not hear of. So now you can market to those companies. And I mean, the outcome was incredible. So.
And this is how easy it was, guys.
Yeah.
Again, these are not people you run into every day. This is a once or twice a year thing where this can happen. But the person is so well known that when you pick up the phone to call that board of directors member, which is the first person I reach out to for senior executives, right? Or you reach out to that CEO, and as soon as you say that I'm an exclusive representative for a top figure in the industry, so I don't even tell them the name. I describe it to them, and they think they know who it might be. And by the way, 50% of the time, from what I described, they kind of know who it is, right? Or they got a very good idea who it might be, so they're very interested. So I make them sign that NDA. Only after they sign that NDA and they make the agreement to pay me, do I reveal the name. But after that, it's all confidential. You cannot meet on site. You have all your meetings, interviews must be done off site. This is to protect both companies and both parties, because those senior executive levels are sensitive. But like I said, it's actually easier than you think. It really is not hard.
Yeah, good stuff, Charles. Thank you. Thank you. That's a great example. Want to get around to some people here. Jason Williams, new face for me. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. What area are you covering within recruiting?
So I have one company that does IT staffing, general IT staffing, and then I'm getting ready to ramp up another one in the process of it now that is more niche focused. That is, and it'll be more of a nationwide play that focuses just on workday roles.
Cool. Good stuff. Are you doing direct hire, retain, contingency recruiting?
Contract to hire and direct.
Okay.
Yeah.
What percentage of contract to hire do you have versus direct?
Current business, last year we were way off on our direct hire business, but our contract business is way up. And so I would say certainly from a revenue standpoint, we were 95% contract and contract to hire last year.
Yeah, you sound like my model. That's good stuff. Nice. You seeing some good things ahead of you here?
Yeah, no, very excited about the new venture that we're moving into and getting that ramped up. And business, it's obviously last year was off for us, but not terrible. And part of it was because we had, our 19 was really, really, really good. And so last year, when you compare it to, it was down from 19, but not, still one of our better years overall over the years.
Congrats. What's been working for you from a marketing front, like getting new clients and getting new jobs? Anything you could share with us?
Yeah, so for us, we're mainly, so I'm in Richmond, Virginia, and most of our work, 90% of our business is in Richmond. And that's one of the reasons why I joined the group to begin with, was to get some better ideas from a marketing perspective. So for us, we've got a good client base because we've been doing it for a long time, but we want to expand. And, it's like the days of smiling and dying, like people have said, it just doesn't work quite as well as it used to. It is still a part of all the daily activities that we make our folks do. But I am actually starting to look into some, especially on with the new organization, some search and some retargeting with some ads, and also some LinkedIn stuff as well around that.
You think about
Just
on like
so
Facebook or like LinkedIn for ads?
LinkedIn for ads, and then also just on the Google and the retargeting on Google.
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, thanks for sharing.
I'm curious, has anybody done much of that here with their organization?
Anybody doing SEO marketing out there or ads on LinkedIn?
I've done ads on LinkedIn. Maybe there's some secret sauce behind it. I haven't discovered the secret sauce. What I have discovered is LinkedIn has changed. They are like Google. The reason I don't pay Google PPC is the only person making money is Google. And I think with LinkedIn campaigns, it's become the same thing. The only person that makes money on LinkedIn campaigns is LinkedIn. So if somebody's got the magic sauce of how a LinkedIn campaign works, please let me know. But my experience is they're no different than Google PPC, which, you know, that only works if you're willing to spend a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Jason, thank you. Thank you for sharing.
You got it.
Ryan, how you doing? Ryan Barrow.
Good.
See, what's working for you? What's not working for you?
I would say, I mean, obviously I'm utilizing Ulink daily. I have several campaigns out there. So I would say, I mean, Ulink's working for me right now, because I really can't go out there. I don't know where everybody else is, but here in Wisconsin, I mean, right now it's -1 degrees outside. So, just, you know, getting out there and getting my foot out on the ground, because our governor finally got his mask mandate shut down. So things have kind of gotten a little bit more loose. People are at least willing to open their doors now, but
well, Ryan, I want to apologize that my Bucks beat your Packers, by the way. So I'm sorry for that, but keep going.
I accept your apology.
Okay, no problem.
But yeah, so I mean, pretty much Ulink has been my main go-to right now. It's really been helping out, especially with this cold call situation. Yeah, I mean, Ulink has really been it for me right now. Other than reaching out, you know, specifically on LinkedIn, just to those people that I've been targeting specifically, over the last few months. But you know, I use that. I forgot exactly who gave me the idea when, because I had started with you guys months ago. So I don't know exactly who gave me the idea, but offering the Starbucks card seems to really be working. And I have a steady diet of coffee now. I would at least say I'm at like Starbucks at least 3 to 4 times a week. And to dial back to what Charles said, I think bringing the individuals out of their workspace and me getting myself out of my workspace kind of brings us into a more neutral zone. Kind of, I don't know, it feels like I get more of an advantage and I get more of a positive response when I get people out to Starbucks or, you know, little local coffee shops. Because it seems like when I meet in their office, I get ghosted a lot. I'll meet with them, do my full presentation. I try not to dump my briefcase on the desk. You know, I give them, you know, the structure of what we can do for them, and then all of a sudden I just will never hear a word from them again.
Well, I mean, it's happened to the best of us.
Yeah, sure. But as of this month, today's the 28th, and I'm like 16 for 16 on my coffee run. So every person that I've met this year doing the coffee thing, because I end up sending them $5 in Starbucks gift cards and tell them to pick their day that they want to meet. I've been 16 for 16. So it got to the point where my boss was like, all right, you might want to chill out on the Starbucks thing, because we're a small office. I'm not going to lie. It's me and my wife, my sister, and my mom. So I handle sales. We have a recruiter, and she's just like, all right, that's enough. Like, you have so many job orders that we're hurting for people right now. So now I get to
that's a good problem to have, man. Awesome.
Yeah, I get to switch hats and put on my recruiting hat on now. So now I've been handling more interviews than sales.
Well, good for you. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, I talked about the whole Starbucks thing months ago. I was doing it on Zoom calls. So I would send a client, after we had some dialogue, a $5 gift card of Starbucks and be like, hey, let's meet in a Zoom tomorrow with our coffees. Come to the Zoom call and, you know, hey, cheers, good to meet you. Let's join our coffee and have a Zoom call. And I got away from it, but that was working pretty well to cultivate relationships during the times where we, you know, couldn't go out and meet people. But happy to hear that's working for you. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Definitely. I'm really happy about it.
Good. All right. Anything else anybody wanted to add or talk about? Anything good, anything challenging that maybe the group can help with before we
yeah, I found that you know, I landed a job order last week. Actually, it was an inbound. I take physical therapy at this clinic, and the clinic director called me and said, I need a physical therapist. Well, I've never recruited a physical therapist, but I ended up going on my recruiter account, which I'm paying too much for. I landed, you know, and these people were very responsive. They're real nice to work with. I landed a candidate, shot it over to her. She goes, hey, I want to talk to this person. And they met yesterday, and then they're going to get together again, and she's going to shadow. And it looks like, you know, we're getting pretty close on that one. Then I have another one as a backup in case that one doesn't go through. So I never recruited a physical therapist, but isn't recruiting?
Yeah, but Scott, you're the ABC. You always be closing. I'm not surprised that you did that. That's good stuff. I mean, you know, you're very creative out of the box. I think that's great.
Yeah, today I had a conversation with a potential client where I kept in touch with a candidate that I placed like 3-4 years ago. He just landed a job on his own at a new company. He went in there and I said, hey, congratulations. Let me know how I can be resourceful. And he gave me a flying colors recommendation. And this morning I had a call, and we're discussing an agency for hire hourly rate, because I mean things have been slow for me, and it looks like that may be a possibility. And then we also discussed the roles they have. I have people for them right now, so
Yeah.
to close that down. And
For
then,
everyone out there, I got to tell you, Scott LeBold, who's talking right now, is probably one of the, he's a workhorse. Scott joined a few months ago, and guys up like at 6 a.m. emailing me, texting me, which I appreciate. And so if there's partnership opportunities here within the group where someone's got some recs and Scott can work on them, or vice versa, I would highly recommend y'all get in touch.
thanks.
I can't say enough good things about Scott's work ethic and his drive and his hunger right now to be successful and make some placements.
Just to wrap up with ULink, I did set up 2 different campaigns we were running, and I made some kind of a mistake. I think what I did was I plugged the wrong message into each, and when I realized what was happening, I just shut it off. And then Bonnie, it's not funny, but so then I went into
You're right, it's not, but I do it myself, so I'm laughing because.
I mean, there's someone else that does it. Yeah. Well, I'm going to make sure that never happens again. So I went into LinkedIn and I had like 1,400 pending invitations. I cleared them all out. And boy, I was watching a movie Saturday night and just kind of cleared them all out. Now that was a week ago. I got to wait 2 more weeks before I can reset those campaigns up. And you can bet when I do, I'm going to make darn sure I do it right. And there's going to be company names, candidate names, criteria. When I market a #1 salesman, that I know, salesperson I know, it's going to be he delivered 163% on a $6 million quota. There's going to be criteria in there to get these vice presidents of sales, to get the VP of sales attention. So
that's good. Yeah, Scott, the more detail that you put in ththose messages about your candidate, it's going to pique the interest. It's smart.
And I know that Russell will be nice to do a one-on-one with me when I'm really ready to go.
Look, I use your messaging script and cadence. I often talk about it. It's one of the best that I've seen. It's your attention to detail in there and what you include. You do like 5 or 6 messages, don't you, over 3 months?
There was 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I haven't shared with anybody out of respect to you want to be confidential with that, but I do talk about it. It's great. You did a great job.
Okay, thank you. So we'll make it happen here.
You will keep plugging away. Anything else here, guys? Anybody else want to contribute at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll jump in for a minute. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
And thanks for these calls. They're very fruitful, tons of value. So really appreciate them, Russ. And thanks everybody who always attends. This year's been off to a great start. I'm, as you know, in the medical realm, and we really specialize in surgical. But what we've found is recently, as you know, hospitals are not really doing electives right now. They're kind of releasing things a little bit, but so what's happening is the ASCs, which are ambulatory surgery centers, are getting pretty busy. So we're actually working right now with a surgery center here in California. And right now we're filling a operating room manager, some scrub techs, per diem scrub techs, full-time scrub techs. And this surgery center is actually part of Dignity, which is great. So we're going through the whole vendor approval, and we'll be able to really work directly with the hospital. And as you know, Dignity's a pretty big.
Hold on. What?
About the future of remote work and
can somebody mute your out there? Yannick, I'm going to mute all, and then you unmute yourself. Okay.
Drop them into the chat
Awesome. Yeah. So it's going well. So we're fulfilling for this surgery center, working with a few others, have some verbal commitments, but really focusing on this one surgery center. And the big play is really, connecting with their hospital, which is Dignity. So we're going through that whole vendor approval with Dignity. And there could be some huge potential there. So everything's looking good, man.
I love it, Yannick. Hey, that's awesome, man. Happy to hear that. And thanks for always bringing a positive attitude here. Love your spirit, man. Thank you for your support too.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys, and we will continue this every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Scott Burkhead, I'm going to launch it off with you next Thursday. So I want to hear some good news from you after your campaigns have been running. All right. And any questions that you have, Scott, or help that you need now between then, I'm here for you. Let me know. Yeah, guys, it's great to see everyone here. Really excited about what's coming here for us this year, and glad y'all made it. Yeah, everyone have a great day.
Okay, thanks.
Have a good one.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Russ. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Russ.
I'm gonna
Appreciate you,
hear,
bro.
Russ.
Thank you.
I'm gonna call you.
Yeah, no problem, buddy.